Hello. So you may hear some rain in the background. Currently, where I am, it's been raining pretty heavily the last day and a half or so. And it's feeling really cozy. And so I just wanted to do a guided astral journey transmission. And I've done these before, and I will post in the description box some references to some of the different phrases and frequencies that come through if you want to take a deeper dive. But today I won't be doing as much in sharing research per se, except for in the description box, and whatever comes through, I'm just going to be freely saying what tunes in to come through for the highest good of all. I opened a container before I pushed record. And yeah, so if you're listening to this, you can get comfortable. If you need to pause to do so, you can do this seated, lying down. Preferably your spine is straight, or even if you are in fetal position is a nice way to receive this type of frequency transmission. You might want to have a hydrating beverage with you. You can also certainly have something to cover your eyes, like a blindfold or whatever they're called. You can feel free to have something on in the background if you prefer that. And yeah, maybe you can start with your eyes closed, or you can blink them really fast and then really slowly. Feel free at any point if you want to tickle your own skin, engage your senses, play with your own hair, give yourself an arm rub. Yeah, really stimulating any senses. Have some aromas around to enhance the olfactory sense. You might want to, apply some lotion that makes you feel comforted, or some sort of oil. Okay, and with that, you can also grab a blanket or something soft against your skin. However you feel the most relaxed. Maybe start by setting the intention to calm your nervous system. Sometimes by reminding ourselves that we are safe, we are protected, it allows any overactive mental stimulation or just letting your body know that it's safe and calm in whatever way that is for you, any of the ways that I've mentioned, by just vocally or mentally repeating that, a mantra, maybe a mixture of these things, just to continually let your body know that it is completely safe to relax and to set the intention to receive. So we can start and take a few breaths if that feels good to you. And if your eyes are not closed at this point, you might want to play and just close one eye close both. And take a breath in through the nose. And as you breathe in, you want to hold it, bringing in your belly button towards your spine, and just kind of squeezing your body. You can like picture all of the tension that you may be experiencing. If you're experiencing any tension, like gathering it the more you squeeze. Squeeze your face, behind your eyes, thinking of maybe places you don't often put your attention into, or maybe you do. And if that's the case, you can just set the intention to go a little bit deeper. Continue squeezing in, hold it, and then just like audibly exhale. And we're going to do that a few more times. And this time, to stimulate your visualization, let's invite in a color. Breathing in like an ultraviolet light, but any color or colors that feel good to you. And when you exhale like a cobalt blue or whatever color comes to you, or colors. And as you breathe in through the nose, again, hold, squeezing the belly button towards the spine, maybe holding and squeezing the sex organs, pinching up the shoulders toward the ears, squeezing your fingers, your toes, maybe pinching your shoulder blades together. Continue squeezing, squeeze, hold, suck in some more air as if you were like breathing in through a straw, but in your nose. A little bit more, even if it hurts, it might be a little bit uncomfortable, keep going, and then just like, And on this third or fourth breath, as all the rain that I'm watching come down, you can imagine like an outpour of any emotional repression or tension, maybe like empathically that you've been holding from yourself, from the earth or the collective. You might hear the thunder in the background. We're going to again breathe in through the nose. Hold in that belly button towards the spine. Breathe in that ultraviolet light. Feel it permeating through every cell and molecular structure. Setting the intention to cellularly detox any I'm hearing the word gunk. Any gunk from yourself or anything or anyone else that you've accumulated. It will be different for each one of you. And if you feel like you're not holding anything right now, that's wonderful. And you can just simply be with this breath and let it flow through you into your organs and your blood, your hair, and through the high heart, the thymus. There seems to be like a collective activation of the high heart. And you're going to breathe in a little bit more air and squeeze. Squeeze a little bit more. And then just let it all out. And maybe just take a few observation breaths very lightly. Just let your breath return to its natural rhythm. And notice if there's any maybe micro shifts from when you first started. And just do a quick body scan, starting maybe a few inches above your head in your auric field. And then like a waterfall, just letting it slowly scan through your field and your physical body. Just adding awareness, noticing any spots that are calling your attention, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. I feel a sensation on like the left breastbone. So maybe someone here has a little bit of an extra focus on the heart space. I'm also feeling right behind the right side on the rib cage, like towards the back, on the higher end of the ribs. And the upper neck, we can hold a lot of tension in the neck, kind of like that weight of the world feeling. And in this moment, you can just set the intention to drop any burdens, any extra weight that you might have been carrying without even realizing. Or maybe you do realize. And just to give yourself permission and to thank yourself for taking some time to carve out for yourself. And really, doing this type of thing, carving out space for yourself, creating space within your own vessel on a more consistent basis, I found really does help. More embodiment of presence, of holding space for yourself and for others in a more clear way and balanced way. And if you want to take a second and just feel the surface wherever you are laying or lying. And we're going to continue grounding into that surface, deeper into your physical body, allowing those colors that you brought in, or textures, and just feeling them going deeper and deeper into the earth, through the inner earth frequencies. I just saw some lightning, and you might hear the thunder. The silver lightning has been coming through a lot lately. So you can picture like a beautiful silver lightning strikes coming in from your soul star, culminating in the galactic gateway, and sort of coming down the rest of your energy field. And then almost making like a curved L shape out through your feet and then down into the earth. And really visualize, I heard the phrase Arthurian legends. So I'm feeling like a landscape of the times of Avalon and King Arthur. And if it's not a visualization of that, I'm hearing Christic codes coming through the Arthurian, Avalonian codes. Maybe you've been feeling a call to do some research or travel to places that hold this energy signature. Maybe you've been feeling Merlin or Saint Germain and the ultraviolet flame. Or maybe you will. For some of you, I'm hearing it's been a little while, but that energy is coming up again. I'm being reminded of a dream I had about Avalon and Merlin And the light codes that we are pulling through today and bringing in through the words that I speak, through your visualizations and your own auric fields, retrieving any auric key codes. And I'm seeing a beautiful, like, spiraling type of vortex beginning to form. And there's going to be a braiding of these encoded energy signatures that will weave through. And if any of them come to you that I don't speak audibly, just know that your auric key code or energy signature is meant to be weaved into this audio, and that whoever receives it will receive in their own timing the co-creation of myself, the encoded light frequencies that are coming through my channel, as well as whoever partakes, And of course, you can always set your filters and intentions to receive what is for your highest good. I did that in the beginning, but you also have that if you haven't already done that. And with this plasma light vortex encrusted with a double diamond code, so the way it feels to me is like a vortex of these light streams swirling in a clockwise, braiding with these almost like encoded diamond, like shape-shifting light morsels. And I'm feeling like aquamarine, Numite that came through the other day in a different audio, which I believe they also call the Philosopher's Stone. There's this almost like bioluminescent pink, and the Andromeda Galaxy Aqualine Sun heliotalic pastel rainbow just waterfalls of light pouring through this vortex. And the more we sort of observe it with all of our frequencies, it's like expanding and, like I said, shape-shifting through these different light encoded key codes that embody within us. And as we continue to visualize and embody and share, they essentially hatch or get birthed through the earth grids, and continuing to re-encrypt the organic ascension grids and timelines, strengthening, remembering, and activating our own crystalline DNA, as within, so without. So you might be noticing colors are more bright. You might be seeing color, or orbs in the air that maybe others around you are not seeing, or that might start happening after this transmission. You might look at the sun and the moon, the stars, and start to see these either like bioluminescent or iridescent frequencies, maybe both. Auras might be popping up around objects, people, animals. And again, if you're already experiencing this, I feel like there's going to be an expansion. Anchoring in the next collective crystal star, high heart, thymus awakening, anchoring in the unconditional love templates. And with that, of course, can come some growing pains, cellular detoxing. And if you're still here listening to this, you're probably someone who's experienced many versions of this. And if this is your first time, more consciously being aware of this, and just continue to, if you feel called, listen and try to let your logical mind soften and really tune into your senses and the way you feel, and allow that clearing that I brought through in the beginning to continue working through, and just allowing your senses to sharpen, to get deeper. Really sitting with your own body communications and the way you communicate with your body. Just saying thank you. Even if you thanked your body 100 times today, one more might not hurt. And really just like acknowledging the intelligence that our body has, and sometimes doing things like this to really soften, like I said, that mental stimulation, and allow our bodies to communicate. I'm hearing body talk. Ooh, there's a cat near me, so the cats are getting very excited. Yeah, so some energy is ramping up. So I'm hearing really important to find and carve out these moments of stillness, of going within, of recharging, of consciously bringing in these codes. Of conducting energy hygiene. I'm feeling the avian, feline, Lyran collectives, where they say like the original angelic blueprints were manifested in Lyra, and the connection through Lyra and the planet that now we call the name escaped me, but they say the pre-matter liquid light, the Brenau, and the, how we say Avalon, was actually a planet in Lyra. I believe it was Avion. I could be saying that incorrectly. So just tuning in, and again, just allowing these light encoded words and phrases to evoke the own inner knowing that you have a connection, or if you have a connection, and what that feels like for you. And for purposes of this transmission, I'm hearing to focus on your internal connection, as I have taken different approaches and ways of connecting with these energies to myself, and it always comes through for me like I'm activating these different aspects of our crystalline DNA, within our own auric field. And then how that comes through in the external, whether it's like an actual star system or planetary memory, or just an aspect of that archetype that is awakened within us. So that just kind of wanted to come through as well. And as this pre-matter crystalline liquid light vortex is getting bigger, we're now going to set our awareness maybe 5 to 10 inches outside of our body, above, below, and simultaneously practicing bilocation and imagining each individual cell in our body with its own microscopic vortex of centripetal auric implosion, having our field be coherent and cohesive. As your awareness continues to raise out into the auric field, when you're ready, we're going to together create a bridge into, I just saw another flash of lightning, bringing back in that silver lightning, that quick energy. You might want to use your hands and just, before you do these type of things, sometimes it's good to get the physical electrical system involved. So you can do some tapping on your body or use your hands and rub them together to create that heat, and then tap your body after you do that, just like on your legs, your chest, your face, your head. I remember the first conscious quantum leaping practice I did, I believe it was in 2018, and I'll share that story one day, but I was reminded last night there was a YouTube channel. I can link it in the description box. His name is Brian, I believe, but I haven't listened to him in such a long time. And he popped up on my feed last night, and it just took me to like a full circle moment of like, whoa. I remember practicing these techniques from multiple different people that I studied from, and a mentor that I had, plus my own practices that I was getting through dream time. And so this is just an invitation, no matter where you are in this practice, whether beginner, expert, somewhere in the middle, maybe just to think of your own, before we jump into this spiral of Christic codes. And I'm hearing the Andromedan councils through the Aqualine sun, like an initiation of sorts or a re-initiation. I did a video the other day on the aura re-encryption, and as we continue on this transmission, that is also part of the experience. I heard the word agenda. Sometimes that word can have a little bit of a negative connotation, so whatever feels good to you. And so by now you might feel some chills on your body, or like you created some heat. And let's set an intention. You can set 1 or 2 or whatever you'd like for yourself, and also for the collective. And I always say for the highest good. And just sort of leave that up to co-creating the highest timeline in the organic ascension for the highest good. I'm actually not being guided to share. I'm going to take a few moments of silence. Maybe it will come through, and feel free after this to share anything that comes through for you, or what you might have seen, felt, remembered, anything else, any intentions. And they say like the more amplified the intention becomes with, more numbers, like more people. So even if we don't all have the same intention, just the container that I set for the highest good of all, we'll just sort of like amplify each individual intention. And if you feel a little bit stuck, like you don't really have one, I always just say, whatever in this moment is for the highest good for myself and the collectives upon which I'm connected, that is most needed right now, in conjunction with the organic ascension timeline, anchoring in the unconditional love template. I modify it, but that is what wanted to come through in this moment. But the idea, the words may change, but it's still amplified in and set in that encoded container of the highest good, anchoring in the unconditional love template. And now I'm being called to do a little bit of an honoring for the unseen realms. Although the more we do this, the more seen these unseen realms become, as we continue illuminating within our own consciousness and auric fields and awareness. The more we collectively bring through our unique individual expression, the collective will continue expanding into these multidimensional realms. Yeah, just for our ancestors, past, present, and future. I'm hearing the Devas, the Devic kingdom, elemental, dragons, fae, gnomes. The mer beings, the whales and the dolphins. I'm feeling like the aqua connection, aquatic, like Sirius B, Mintanka, maybe some like Lemurian, Atlantean. I'm hearing the bridges are like coming in through those epochs of our consciousness and through the crystal kingdom. So visualizing this bridge, however it looks to you, is perfect, from your own individual little like tornadoes that we created on the cellular individual cells, and then bilocating that consciousness to create that bridge to the beautiful collective spiral of light that we mentioned. And the bridge to me feels very like windy. Like it's not just like a straight bridge. There's like spirals. It's like feeling like white and golden light. Like a French gray color. Again, that like aquamarine. It's like crystalline, this bridge is what it feels like. And that plasma, pre-liquid light matter, the golden essence is just permeating through all of us who are listening to this, even if it is not in the same linear fashion. I'm And when you're ready, I'm hearing to kind of like catapult your consciousness through the bridge into the spinning vortex. You might want to take a deep breath. I just felt like a little bit of lightheadedness. So if this is a little bit, this won't be for everyone, but if you feel a little, just remember that we grounded into the earth, and you can come back to your physical body by doing some tapping. You might want to keep your eyes closed though. And afterwards, this is really for everyone, just really try to stay hydrated. You might want to eat some like dark chocolate, or just something that, maybe some root vegetables, something that makes you feel like nourished but grounded. You can sprinkle some sea salt or pink salt, just good quality salt in your water. Have a nice cup of tea or a bath, or all of these things, or none of these things, whatever makes you feel. Maybe some stretching. And I'm going to give you a few moments to explore what it feels like to be in this vortex. And as we go through, just to notice how you showed up. Do you have a form? If so, what does it feel like? What does it look like? And it's okay if you can't see. What are you observing behind your eyelids? And then taking it out a little bit further, what does it feel like? Are any memories coming up? Are you feeling certain things in your body or through your emotional body? Are you seeing flashes of light? Maybe multiple of these things. Maybe it feels a little bit dark and like you're in some sort of void space. For some of us here, I feel like there might be a little bit of a coming back online of the Merkaba in its next evolutionary embodiment. So if you've already activated your Merkaba and you utilize this practice all the time or something similar, there's just sort of like a recalibration process I'm hearing. And if you're more new to this, there's still, it's not like it wasn't existing, you're just more consciously connecting to it. So there's still some sort of balancing and recalibration. And the way that you perceive your Merkaba, your light body, your vehicle of light, I'm hearing is either already started or will start to maybe feel a little bit different, or it might change because it's more like embedded within your conscious mind, in your physical body, like it's holding more light, so it won't feel as out of reach. So for a short period of time, it might actually feel like you're not, I'm hearing like astral traveling the way you used to. There's a recalibration to the way you perceive. So it's more integrated within you. So that can, I'm hearing like shift through a few different phrases. I meant to say phases, but maybe someone here is repeating phrases in their mind to keep their conscious mind busy, or to give it something to do. And if not, if your thoughts are kind of all over the place, that's something you can do. A quick little phrase I like to say, I am love, I am light, or we are love, we are light. I don't know why that comes through all the time, but it does. But anything that feels good for you, you can just repeat that or repeat something. Some people count. You can visualize like some sort of like sacred geometric shape, and that will just help. Yeah, my head just started to hurt a little bit, so there really is no wrong way. Just experiment and just kind of see what feels the best for you. And as we go through, the observation to see how we showed up. For each one of you, I'm sure it will be a little bit different. And I'm feeling like we're actually in a liminal space. It's like we're neither here nor there. It's like your own personal void space that is like in between multiple realms. So it's like in this space there will be a few different aspects of your soul, memories, maybe different time periods on earth. It's like a braiding of maybe different beings, guides, angelic aspects that are meeting you in this space. So for each one of you, it could feel a little bit different. It's almost like I'm being shown when you like see someone on Zoom and they're, at their place, but they put on a background that looks like something else, but you can see their body and it kind of looks a little weird. Like they look like they're not fully physical. Like it's like the pixels are like cutting into their skin, so they almost look like they're just copy and pasted there. It's kind of like the same idea where you're like projected into holographically this space where your own unique auric field and Galactic Gateway and Soul Star are like projecting in what you need the most right now. It's kind of cool. But again, I'm seeing the Aqualine sun, and I will post from the Ascension Glossary. Lisa Renee, I think, did a really great job of bringing through this glossary and the terms for what, for me, has been coming through my own channel for a long time. And then I started confirming with her glossary. So maybe some of you are having a similar experience, or you might start to. And for me, again, it's like these pearlescent, iridescent, like aqua, pink, gold, pastel, rainbow frequencies coming in through Andromeda Galaxy's next harmonic universe. And the more of us who show up in these spaces, like I said, to like activate within our own fields and then allow them to hatch in divine timing accordingly through the grids and the organic ascension timelines and our own auric fields. And I'm hearing, go play. So yeah, I will set the scene a little bit, but please feel free to utilize this aspect of your consciousness. Know that it's safe and protected. And if anything comes up that maybe feels a little bit heavy or a little bit fearful, you can allow that to come up to be seen more right now, or you can just say, hey, I'm not ready to deal with that right now, and just know that it will come up the next time that you might be ready to deal with it. We never get something we can't handle, but there is no shame in saying, right now I just want to play, so that's totally up to you. And I'll give enough time for you to explore both if that is something. And I'm just being asked to remind anyone listening to this that if some of that heavier stuff is coming up, I talked about cellular detoxing, and when there's a lot of ancestral lineage, karmic patterns, which, karma, I believe, translates to the word action. So yeah, it's really just sitting with that heaviness, acknowledging it, letting it pass through, feeling it. And in each moment, we get to choose a new action, utilizing pattern disruption or different things we can do to acknowledge and make different choices. And now I'm feeling like that very like Sophianic, feminine, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, Aphrodite, Isis, Hathors, that very like feminine aspect to come in and really amplify that compassion and mothering, nurturing archetype within ourselves, so that when these things do come up, it's not so much about beating ourselves up that we're not getting it perfect. It's just, everyday presence, daily practice, play, going easy on ourselves, micro shifting small changes into eventually, if the goal is to change the pattern and take new action, to do it with compassion and setting that example, in this next, a lot of people are calling it like the next paradigm of leadership, of leading by example, and really going within to create that new expression and kind of like birth in that new consciousness. They say like the integrated masculine and feminine frequencies, eventually like that Christos and Sophianic. That's why to me it always comes to like the golden and the iridescent pearlescent merging, creating into with ether or spirit or the ethereal, and birthing into this next holographic imprint. I was just drinking water, so you may have heard that. Always check in with yourself first, of course, but I'm hearing chlorophyll. Drinking chlorophyll might be helpful right now. Or maybe you already are. Yeah, really spending time with the water element, however that feels good for you. And I'm going to ask for each liminal space that's being co-created individually and as a collective, that our high selves send us a message. You might receive it now, you might receive it another time, maybe through a dream or a synchronicity, through someone saying something to you that you're like, oh, and you just like know that feeling, your body might respond with like goosebumps or chills. And I'm also asking for a surprise to come through. It could be something really simple, or maybe something a little bit more exciting. If it's a little bit bigger, it might take a little bit more, I'm hearing air quotes, time. And if there's something specific, I'm hearing don't be afraid to ask. But since we set the intention for the highest good, it might come in a little bit differently. But I'm hearing you'll just know. I just heard tennis, so I don't know if anyone here is thinking about playing tennis or plays tennis, or maybe there's like a metaphorical message around tennis. And the last thing before we go and come back into our body, and I'm hearing we are going to come back through the bridge, but it's going to be like in a different location. It's really cool. It's showing me like when, if you're familiar with doing grid work, it's like this etheric bridge work that is kind of like traveling through different like space times, through these liminal spaces, and as we anchor in and co-create, it like shifts. That's why I think shape-shifting was coming up so much. It like shifts the cellular connection. So when we talked about quantum leaping, it's like as we set these intentions, like we are putting in that request and intention to really evoke change. So it won't be exactly the same. Yeah, and I'm just going to ask our high selves and any aspects of our soul, like I said, or guides, or even like celestial or planetary communication, to present you with some sort of auric field. There's a word, for some reason it just left my mind, but I want to say it's like a talisman, but instead of being physical, it's like an etheric talisman. And each one of you will receive it differently. And like I said, if you can't see it or feel it now, I'm just hearing, be on the lookout. You know, someone might give you an actual talisman to like confirm, or you might see or feel like an emblem or a certain geometric shape or shapes in meditation or a vision. You might just kind of claircognizantly like know. Something might just pop into your consciousness and you just know. And I'm kind of seeing some of those, like the orders and the bloodlines of the original seedings, like the Melchizedek Emerald Order, so Ruby Ray. Yeah, through the double diamond sun. I'm also seeing Cygnus, the swan constellation, which they say the anchoring of the Cygnus grids are kind of like the futuristic, like the visionaries, the people who can tap into the multidimensionality and bring in these more visionary, futuristic, of course, when time isn't linear, but it's like the ones who are able to tune in and already hold those higher and more evolved frequencies and codes. And again, they won't always hatch in this exact moment when you receive it, but just know that it's all really divinely timed. It's kind of the way it's being shown. I don't know why I'm seeing like a hairpin, like an antique-y one. So maybe someone's like great-grandmother or like a grandmother like figure, maternal figure. Seeing something like that. Yeah, now I'm seeing like a locket. Getting a lot of like 1800s or like early 1900s. I don't know why. I'm also seeing some sort of book. So this could represent like an Akashic record. Now I'm seeing like the cloistered Durator plates. They're usually represented by like a silver disc. And know that you could be receiving multiple as well, even if they don't all come through today. And there's also like an ethereal nectar, like a flower crystalline elixir, and it will be different for each one of you. But they all feel very sweet, and it's like glowing. Like each one has its own, almost like plasma bioluminescence. So it's like multidimensional in its nature. It's not just like one liquid. It has like multiple essences within it. Hearing specifically, it's opening the back of the heart, especially on the right side. And this can be an unfoldment, like I said, through dream, synchronicity. Notice like you might start being attracted to different things, or to go certain places, or to express your creativity or your voice in certain ways. So this will be like an unfoldment over time. I know it might kind of seem like we brought through a lot, but each little treasure will come through in its time that is best for, for the highest good for yourself and anyone else who will be receiving this, like whether it's through a ripple effect or, sharpening your own senses so that you can show up in your best way. I just saw lightning again. And when we work with the silver lightning that I brought through before, it has a very fast moving energy, kind of like the Tower and the Eight of Wands in tarot. Like it's like, so you're like, instead of, they say sometimes in tarot, like the Tower moments can feel really overwhelming and scary because change can be hard, and if we don't see it coming, to me the silver lightning is kind of like anticipating your own Tower moment, or like initiating your own Tower moment, so that you're like getting ahead of the change. Like if it's going to happen anyway, it's like you're asking for this this change. And again, whether it's energetically, physically, emotionally, spiritually, yeah. Okay, I'll give you a few moments to say your thank you and your goodbye, or whatever. It's really not goodbye, but to prepare to come back to the bridge. And I'll announce when there's like an opening for all of us to kind of hop in. It's coming through as like a flash of light with like a simple circle, kind of like Galinda, the Good Witch in The Wizard of Oz, when she travels in that bubble. It's like there'll be a flash of light, and then you'll each be like in your own bubble. And you'll kind of like float through the bridge back into wherever you are receiving this. You might feel like a little tap on your shoulder, or you might get chills just to, or see like color, or you might hear clairaudiently, like a pitch frequency, or something in your house like might be really loud all of a sudden, or you might just like notice the water goes on, or like something, just to let you know that you are not alone. And just know I'm also simultaneously bringing through some crystalline liquid light energy activations. I know I've been saying that, but I just wanted to say also when I'm being silent, I'm holding space for that and sort of like quantumly bringing through these frequencies, for lack of a better word. Okay, when you're ready, the flash of light. And if you don't see it, that's okay. Excuse me. So when I burp, that's usually a clearing. Well, I just had two, so that's good. When you're ready, you can jump in, and whatever color, bubble, or shape that comes up for you is perfect. I'm feeling dragons again, so there might be like dragon guides with us. There's specifically this plasma magenta ethereal dragon that connected with me in Dreamtime. I may have spoken about it in another audio, so maybe you like listen to that, or you might be called to listen to that. It presented as so big. It was like the size of like a football field, and it was like kind of floating. It wasn't like flapping wings, it was just sort of like floating, and it was ethereal because it wasn't like physical, but it still had a shape, and it had these like really large, like yellowy golden, like marigold eyes. And it didn't like speak to me, utilizing like English words. It was like a telepathic transmission, and it felt like I was in a point on Earth's timeline where it wasn't current day, like our time period. It definitely felt like a different time. And I had people around me that I knew from this life that were with me, and no one could see the dragon. Like I was the only one that could see it. So there could be a message there. Dragons can represent a lot of different things, but this like magenta plasma ray I'm hearing, that's being activated through this transmission. So dragons might be showing up for you a lot. I know this is the year of the dragon, so that could be going on for a lot of people. And there's a few different dragon types that I've connected with over the years. So just know that there are more, but that was the main presenter I heard that wanted to come through. I'm also feeling like white dragons and like white feline beings. I know one aspect that came through for myself years ago was like a white feline with violet eyes, and it kind of like shapeshifted and could like travel in space-time. So you might be having some of these experiences. It might not be exactly the same, but I'm just hearing like acknowledgement and holding space for these parts of yourself to continue presenting or to start presenting. And if you want to just take a few moments and observe the bridge. Now it kind of feels like, if you ever played Mario, like Rainbow Road. I don't know why I'm getting that, but I am. It's like a voidish black background type of setting with this. Yeah, I just saw more lightning flashing. Like very illuminated Rainbow Bridge Road. It's really coming through, like I'm seeing these like almost like gold coins or like different type of, oh, this is really fun. So they're like little power-ups that like maybe will help your own auric field. You know, people say like attunement. So I'm hearing attunement, but also like parts of your auric field, like almost like a Tetris piece. It's like you're collecting these key codes and these like pieces that will reintegrate and like show up in different ways for different people. So maybe, like we talked about compassion and some of the more feminine archetypes, maybe there's a piece of that that's coming back in that you need, or maybe you actually need a little bit more of this like vitality or taking action, like fire type of something that might feel like it's been missing. And I'm hearing it's never really missing, it's just been being preserved for the right time, So there might be like almost little iceberg like symbology coming through, where things have been like hidden under the surface or preserved like an ice for the perfect timing, and now it's defrosting and you're able to like collect that aspect of yourself. I'm seeing like a wand. So maybe someone here like has been thinking about making a crystal wand or buying a crystal wand, or a wooden, something out of like tree bark or wood. It's going to show up differently for everyone. Yeah. So grab your relics, float on by, and when you're ready, you can also tap again on your body or use your hands to create a little bit of heat. Maybe do some very light mini stretches with your toes, roll your ankles, your neck. You might be really sensitive when you open your eyes, so do it very slowly. If you can do it like where it's still a little bit dim, don't put the light on right away, or maybe don't take the blindfold off right away. And if you've fallen asleep, just know that's perfect, and your subconscious needed to receive it in bypassing your mental plane consciously. Maybe take a couple little breaths and try to take it easy. And if you want to just stay in this space and do some more exploring, you're more than welcome to. Thank you for joining me today. And like I said, feel free to comment your experiences or any questions you might have. It's 3:13 on my clock. That number might be relevant for someone. All right. Well, thank you.